Hello and welcome to this tutorial on using variables inside of Excel. In this lesson we're just going to use the name box and make some simple variables in this employee sheet, and then we will use those variables in using using functions to get information from this employee sheet and having it on the cover page. Alright, so let's start out with average salary of all employees. Now, typically, whenever we are doing any kind of functions, it's pretty simple to go from sheet to sheet to get information for a particular function. For example, average salaries of all the employees, it's very simple. We go over to the employee sheet, select the column and press enter, and then we're done. But after a while, this could get pretty monotonous to go back and forth between the two sheets. And with some functions, especially reference functions, it's kind of imperative that you actually use some variables for your tables. And that's further down the road in a different video. But let's say, for example, we have this one, a number of full-time employees in training. With this, we probably would not want to go back and forth because this is going to use a COUNTIFs function, and we're going to have to go back to the employee sheet 2 different times. Now, that's not a big deal, but as you would be progressing through these answers, it would turn into a kind of an arduous task. So what we can do is create some variables for each of these tables. Now, if I select these different columns, if I want to make a variable out of these, I would use what's called the name box. It's right here. Inside of the name box, you can do a few things. You can find any variables you've already stored, or you can create some. You can also find tables that you've made variables. Quickly find information that way. Now you can use it for something simple like going directly to a cell. But if we have a selection of data and go up here and type a simple string, say for example we want to make this column a variable, and we could call it EMP rating, or employee rating. And now, as we progress through, whatever work we're doing, if we want to come back and find that information, we can go over here and type in EMP rating, and it will immediately reselect that selection of data. Now, we can use those variables inside of functions as well, so we don't really need to go back and forth between cover pages or summary pages, or really just between sheets at all. So let's go ahead and make a couple here. Employee salary. Let's do employee status and employee department. And one more. Employee years. Alright, so I made a few, and let's go ahead and make one more. Employee names. So now over in these, on this cover page, summary page, we can use that, or use those variables inside of our formula. So the number of employees with a salary over 65,000, it's a simple COUNTIF. And for our range, instead of going over to the employee sheet, we can just type in EMP salary, and then we can use our criteria. So instead of going to the other sheet, I can just type in the variable name, and that's it. Same thing here. I can use COUNTIFs. So how many full-time employees? Well, our first criteria range would then be employee status. And inside of that, we're going to look for full-time. And the next one, we'll look inside of department and look for training. And as you can see, once you make variables, it's a lot quicker to enter your formulas, or really any expression at all that uses any of those variables. I'm going to count if here. For hourly employees, same thing, employee status, and we'll enter the string hourly, and that's it. Alright, so that's setting up some simple variables inside of Excel. The next unit is going to focus on using these variables inside of reference functions. Okay, so I hope this taught you something. I hope that you'll make use of it, and I'll see you in class.